start today's video for this week, I wanted to give you an update on my seed starting. So you can see the Sweet Williams, Hollandia Purple Crown is the one I have. So those are coming up pretty good. The Rebecca Denver Daisy. I just put up some broccoli, so nothing happening there. Snapdragons, they're very tiny, and they haven't really put on much growth, but they're up. Poppy, lilac pom-pom, these are good, but I'm getting some yellow leaves. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, so if you know, maybe I should be fertilizing them. Let me know. Sweet peas, I've got to do something with ASAP because the sweet peas are now growing they're just gonna start getting tangled. I'm trying to find something to put them up against because now I have snow all over and I can't get them outside. Cup and saucer vine, got some cup and saucer vine. I got 3 of them. I've got a new one coming up right here. Yarrow's doing pretty good. That's Flower Burst, and this is Summer Pastels, which was a little bit after that, a little slower. Let's see if I can get down here. Foxglove is out. Again, it's there. It's just small. Nothing happening yet with the delphiniums. Nothing happening there. I did some celosia the other day. Nothing happening yet with these. Okay. Now, here's an interesting thing. I came down this morning to look for what to do with the sweet peas, looking for some kind of support hoop. And here's a container that I had things planted in last year. And I found it buried over in the back of the basement. I have no idea what is growing. I have no idea what is growing here. It's so funny, but it smells really pretty, but I have literally like no idea. It's not like mint or something. I mean, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can focus that. I don't think I can get that focused. It's so tiny. Yeah, I don't think so. Sorry. But yeah, so I was thinking I was gonna, the problem is this container's only like 3/4 of the way filled with dirt. I'm wondering if I should pile some dirt in there and I could put my sweet peas in there, but wow, I don't know what that is. So also what I have is I potted up my caladiums, Carolyn Wharton, trying to get those going. I have my elephant ears. I have toucan coral cannas, more elephant ears here and here and here. And I had brought in pussy willows, okay, to force branches, and a lot of them bloomed. And they also rooted like crazy. So now these have only been I just threw them in a container, and they have only been in this container for like a couple of days. And it's crazy, but oh my gosh, I'm having a ridiculous time trying to get things focused. I don't know why. I have all kinds of blooms, and oh my gosh, I have some leaves. Oh my God, this thing is going crazy. So I guess I'm going to be having a new pussy willow shrub. I tried to get my neighbors to take it, but I don't think they're interested. So having a little camera issue here this morning, trying to get these things focused. But the pussy willow, I guess I have a new pussy willow tree. I just, like I said, I stuck all the branches in some dirt, didn't do anything else, and it's growing like crazy. But as you can see, I still have snow outside, quite a bit of snow. So I'm not able to start my assembling my greenhouse, which I think is going over there. but I can't get anything out. I was going to start, cutting the panicle hydrangeas and doing some stuff with the roses and the calicarpas and stuff. Well, that's not happening. Obviously, I'll be doing more damage than not. So I'm just going to have to wait till it melts. So let's go back and let's talk about color theory and how to use color when designing your gardens. Let's take just a couple of minutes and talk about the basic principles of design, which are form, line, texture, scale, and of course, color. So let's talk about how we can use color theory to help us design our gardens. The color wheel makes the relationships of colors very easy to use. In most gardens, perennials and shrubs do the bulk of the work, so plan those first, but annuals allow us to change things up every year and introduce new schemes. So consider how color plays with other colors in your overall landscape, maybe like the color of your house. So, like I said, I'm not going to get all technical here, but just a reminder that the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow, from which all other colors are derived. There are an infinite number of ways to combine these colors for a calming effect or for a very vibrant look. There are 4 main categories of color combinations that we can select from when designing our gardens. We have monochromatic, analogous, complementary, and triadic. And don't forget about neutral colors, obviously like white, silver, gray, brown, black, and these can be used to tone down other colors. Color can come from flowers, from foliage, from bark, from the containers, or just from the furniture in your yard. We use neutrals to bridge between 2 plants that might otherwise clash and to tone down other colors like dark foliage or white flowers. Try to always interject some white through your plants, containers, or furniture. White flowers and foliage look really lovely, especially early in the day or late in the day. I suggest start with your favorite colors. I love purple in all its shades. So this is called a monochromatic color scheme. And they use variations on a single color, and they're very easy to look at. These are tone on tone, usually plus some white or black. You might have pale blue, sky blue, and navy, for example. And don't forget, cool colors can influence the mood of a garden. Blues and greens tend to be considered cool colors that we find relaxing and calming and change the perception of depth as cool colors recede. So here are lots of different quick examples of monochromatic color schemes. So the color wheel can be very, very useful if you want to actually mix colors up. You might use flowers or foliage to mix your combinations. So these are just some examples of photos that I've taken over the years, or there are a couple of Klaus Dalby's tulips in here also. So let's talk about some other combinations that we can use to create some exciting gardens. So next, let's talk about analogous colors. They're next to each other on the color wheel, like yellow down to orange, or warm colors like red, yellow, orange. These tend to excite and invigorate us. They appear to come forward in the garden. So aim to create unity by repeating colors or textures in various borders. Now, one way you might actually combine flowers and foliage, let's say like with red-violet grass, like ruby ribbons, with purple alliums. These are next to each other on the wheel, so they're analogous colors. And typically, these colors blend very easily. So complementary colors are opposite on the color wheel. So they appear brighter, things like yellow and purple or blue and orange. You can soften the effect of these by introducing some neutrals because they are often very bold color schemes. So just use them carefully and judiciously. But again, here are lots of different possibilities how you can combine, whether it's things like tulips or it's annuals, however you're looking for it. And of course, nature does a great job all by itself. Here's a poppy, you don't, or a passion flower, lantana. Nature does a great job all by itself of combining some of these colors. So one note I would say is when planning your colors, remember that flowers are not in bloom all season. So typically, like if you planted a black-eyed Susan or a helianthus for that dark yellow accent, these are going to bloom later in the year. So in the spring, you need something else to fill that color void, like maybe daffodils or daylilies. Just a thought. So in a primary color scheme, you have blue, red, and yellow, obviously, if you remember from your kindergarten days. So here's just a couple of shots, again, to give you some ideas maybe of things you can combine that will pull in those primary colors. So again, the triadic colors schemes are violet, orange, green, let's say 3 colors, as the name implies. They're equidistant on the color wheel. You might have sky blue, pink, and pale yellow. An infinite variety of schemes you can come up with. Of course, nature has its own way of creating absolutely breathtaking color schemes. So we can look around and get some ideas from what we see around us. What I will say is don't be afraid to break the rules. If it's something you love, just go for it. So you can choose and vary your colors by selecting different hues of a color, some bright, some more pastel. Determine if you have a specific use for your garden in mind before selecting a color scheme. You know, some brightly colored pottery might be all that you need to, get the party started. Aim to incorporate color through flowers and foliage. Like a Japanese maple goes from that chartreuse green to yellow in the fall to sometimes gorgeous reds. If you entertain regularly, you might consider planting containers around your patio with, bright cheery colors. There are a lot of different ways that you can use color. Certainly don't forget about evergreens that make up the bones of many gardens when used effectively. Take multiple trips to your local garden center to see plants in flower throughout the season so you can see what you're buying when trying to establish a certain color combination. In other words, summer plants in the summer, fall plants in the fall. You get the idea. Visit botanical gardens for inspiration. Certainly don't discount bark. But foliage in different shades can be just as exciting as flowers, like your hostas, your heucheras, coleuses, sweet potato vines. Don't forget berries, like the hawthorn berries or kusa dogwood, and really use effectively the yellow-green plants, creeping jenny, spirea ogon. There are many, many of those. So before you start, think about, are you looking for year-round color? Are you looking for seasonal color? And you can often accomplish some of that just by using annuals, maybe even in containers. Don't forget about flowers and berries and bark, exfoliating bark, different types of hardscape. These can give you some great ideas to design your garden. Foliage in different shades. You can change up an established bed just by popping in some bulbs or a new plant. I can't wait to see what 2023 is going to bring to my garden. I do have a couple of big things planned and putting in a greenhouse. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you're finding this interesting. Even put in some, just some herbs, some dill, some mint, some thyme from the grocery store. Anything is plantable these days. The color wheel, by the way, was invented by Isaac Newton. I didn't even know that. Thank you again. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.